Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this evening's live Q&A coaching call. Um, we had everything scheduled for this afternoon, had some last minute things come up, so I apologize for any inconvenience. Hopefully, this worked out a little bit easier for everybody to attend. I know our evening sessions tend to have a little bit more of an audience, so I think a lot of people work during the day. But again, I do apologize for the inconvenience. I had a lot of last minute things come up. We were planning on having my good friend Jamel Gibbs come on, give some really cool case studies. But other than that, I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're at 9:02 p.m. right now. If you guys can, I pulled up my screen. We have a ton of questions that came in that I'm going to answer. And then we'll also answer some at the end if you still have some questions. But if you can, could you just chime in really quick if you can hear me and see my screen okay? I just want to make sure, before we get started, everybody could see my screen and everybody could hear me loud and clear. So if you could just type in yes, that would be great. Okay, thanks Ted, thanks Mike, thanks Bob, Dewana, Mick, Kevin, Wendell, James, Stuart, Dante, Ray, thank you. Looks like everybody could see that everything good. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play, go ahead and get started here. So again, like I said, this is our live Q&A coaching call for December 12th, 2013. I had a bunch of questions come in beforehand, and what I did was when you guys registered for the webinar, I asked a bunch of upfront questions just because I'm curious to see what kind of obstacles you have, what kind of roadblocks are you facing, what can we do as individuals to help one another get over those and overcome any challenges that you're seeing. So hopefully this will be extremely beneficial for you. I am recording this right now for you. Let me double check on that. Yes, we are recording. So I'm recording this for you. I will post it up more than likely tomorrow, and we'll get it up for you so you could check everything out. And I'll also give you a link so you could download all the slides as well. So there's going to be some cool stuff that you guys are going to see here in just a second. So let's start everything off here with, we had a question come in from Martha K. And Martha was asking, what is the best part of the USA to invest in? And what I did was I put together a little map here. So let me kind of go over this for everybody. As you can see in the western part of the United States, I kind of made a circle. And some of the key states right now that we're seeing, like some properties that are moving extremely fast, is Arizona, California, and Nevada. We're seeing properties move there very quickly, and I forgot to put a circle over Colorado as well. We just actually had a student, James, who just texted me this week. He just closed a really sweet deal in Idaho where he made an assignment, and we're assignment fee of $6,000. Never saw the property, and was in Belize when he closed on the deal. We're gonna put together a little video of that case study. I'm gonna give that to you guys next week. But to get back to Martha's question, I've been seeing Arizona, Nevada, and California be like an area that's extremely hot right now. As soon as something hits the market, it's typically gone pretty quickly. Then if you want to look at Texas, Texas is pretty much the same. What we're seeing right now in like the Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, some of the bigger metropolitan areas within Texas, those are moving extremely fast. And what I mean by that is they're getting bought typically by rehabbers, or if they're move-in ready properties, you're seeing investors buy them as buy and hold strategies. What Clint and I are actually doing in the Midwest, this is the big circle, we're buying rehabs. We're also buying buy and holds. We're doing quick flips if that's our exit strategy, or if that's our play that we would like to do with the property that we have. And also, Florida is a great market right now as well. The state of Florida, I would say the mid part of Florida and the lower tip of Florida is moving extremely fast. You could also it's a great market for wholesalers as well. The other thing too is with each one of these circles. Right now, hedge funds are wanting to buy in Florida. They're wanting to buy in California, Nevada, Arizona, and they are wanting to sell a lot in the Midwest. They are selling in Texas. And believe it or not, they're also wanting to sell in Florida, California, Arizona, and Nevada. Some of the ones that bought billions of dollars worth of assets, they're now wanting to sell. There are some out there that are still buying, but hedge funds are now becoming sellers. I would say the ratios are about 75-25, with 75% being hedge funds are wanting to sell now. They're seeing that their buy and hold strategy made them a good yield, and it was a quick get in, get out type of a movement, because most of the people that did pool up those funds, you have to keep in mind, they typically operate like on a Wall Street mentality, so they want to see gains as quickly as possible, because they see money moving quickly, every second of the day, so they want to see their money moving as quickly as possible. So they're wanting to get out as quickly as possible as well. So hopefully that answers that question. And if we have any questions come up about that, I'll answer that at the end. So feel free to put any questions in that you would like answered at the end. I'll go ahead and get that done for you as well. So let me go on here to the next slide. So let's get this question from Mark. Mark is asking how to estimate profits when looking for deals. So what I did was I came up with an example to Mark's question. Let's say in this example the seller wants $30,000 for their property. The ARV, the after repair value, is $100,000, and you put together about $10,000 worth of repairs that are needed. And you want a $10,000 assignment fee. What this means is you would have to advertise this property for no less than $50,000 or less, or else that would rip into your assignment fee. Because that's typically how we look at the deals. We have a software that we use, and we put in all the numbers for repairs. If we're wanting to quickly flip the property, then we put in the amount that we're wanting for the assignment, and we'll put that in there. But if you have a property that you're advertising for 50 cents on the dollar, you're going to probably get that all day long, especially after they're going to be in at, let's just say this, the purchase price will actually be $40,000, and you're telling them that it's a with repairs it'll be $10,000, so they're going to be all in for $50,000. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'll be more than happy to fix that at the end here. So we have a question from Judy. What is the most expedient focus for a new investor to focus on to make a profit now? And I highlighted those key areas and also made the last part in bold, because I think the most important thing, if somebody's looking to make a profit, you may or may not have the liquidity available to purchase a property, hold it for a little bit of time. The best strategy that I'd recommend is checking out which markets. If your own backyard is not a hot market, then I would check other markets that are trending in a positive manner, and I would say there's about 26 to 30 different markets right now that are pretty hot. And I think we kind of went over those certain regions within the U.S. here on Martha's question not too long ago. But the best way to make a profit right now, in my honest opinion, the strategy would be wholesaling. Wholesaling, especially for off-market assets. If you have off-market assets, that's going to be huge. And buyers are going to flock to you. So using the methods that we've taught you within Government Loophole Magic and Asset Manager Millions, you're going to have a leg up on the competition. Because we're not heavily marketing those training programs right now. We're focusing on the people that are currently enrolled in the program so we can start doing more deals. Like the deal I had this afternoon that I closed on, that was us bringing funds to the table for a student's deal that we are holding for a couple of weeks, and then we'll make a nice profit on it. So those are deals that we do. That's the luxury of working with us. But that I would definitely recommend, if you don't have the funding available, definitely go down the wholesaling route. Here's a question from Harold H. If you have an investor you've never met, but you know that this is how the investors makes money is by investing in real estate, how would you communicate with that individual? We get a lot of questions about how to communicate properly with cash buyers. And I've gone over this before on other coaching calls, but I'll kind of rehash it again. And it's quite simple. I would just approach that individual as, hey, I was doing some research. I saw that you purchased property 123 Main Street. I saw that it was a really great deal. You obviously you know what you're doing here. I want you to know personally that I have access to off-market deals that I get from direct sources. And would you be interested if I could bring you similar deals that are priced way below market? Would you be interested in that? And here's the great thing about this business. You're the CEO, okay? You make CEO decisions. So if this individual, and I'm going to put this bluntly, is acting like a jackass, then go to another person. Trust me, there's plenty of cash buyers out there that, once you meet the right ones, they're not going to finagle you. They're not going to want to lowball you on things. If you bring them off-market deals and they're below market, you're not going to get somebody that's going to come in and want to negotiate with you over this or that. You're the CEO. Make a CEO decision. If the person's going to treat you like you're not the CEO of your business, move on to somebody else, because there's more people out there, and you don't have time for those types of individuals. They're time wasters, and I'm telling you this not just because, I'm telling it from past experience. When I first got into this business, I would take out so many different people to lunch or breakfast, and it was a complete waste of my time. I'd hear all these things about these individuals, and I'd be like, you know what, I just want to take them out to lunch, breakfast, get a cup of coffee, I typically would take the same person out. This was like 5 or 6 people too. I'd take them out on multiple occasions, just trying to build a relationship. And guys, I had zero money to be doing this. I think I was on unemployment, and I would always I would be like ordering the salad, and I'm this big guy, ordering a salad, and it was tough in the beginning. And I'm telling you this right now. You can meet these people without having to take them out to lunch or dinner. Do it after you close some deals with them to build up the relationship even more. Once you make a $10,000 assignment fee, yeah, go take them out for a nice steak or something, or do something nice. Give them like a $100 or $200 gift card. That type of thing, that really builds the relationship. Going out with people that are going to waste your time and just want to get free meals out of you, that right now, me talking from a CEO to another CEO, because everybody on here that's taking time out of their schedule is a CEO. You own your own business if you're in the real estate investing business. So from another CEO to another one, do not waste your time with these people. Trust me, there's a lot of them out there. So some of them may come off as arrogant, snobby, whatever you want to call them. Just move on to the next one. Okay. Cesar asks, what would be the best way to get REOs from the bank? The best way to get REOs from the bank, it's going to be tough getting them from Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo. You could get them from there. I would try and develop relationships with the agents that are constantly listing those in your area, Cesar. You're going to have better luck trying to develop a relationship with those individuals, but you're gonna see that you're gonna have competition, and the way to overcome that competition is letting that realtor know that you have other assets, other properties that you're receiving directly from banks. And if you're a member of our Asset Manager Millions program, you know exactly how to build those direct contact relationships. If you have direct contacts and you could just say, hey, I'm receiving these direct deals, and I need somebody like you, an expert that knows the market, has cash buyers. You know people that can close quickly. If that's the case, we could start doing a ton of business together, and that way you get more than a foot in the door with that agent at that point in time, because the REO agents, they typically have 2 or 3 cash buyers that they could, as soon as before they even put the property on the market, they already have 2 or 3 people that they've already talked to about the property. So you need to be one of those individuals. So that's how you get those REOs. And you need to make sure you have a buyer's list before you talk to these realtors, because if you put a deal under contract and you don't close quickly like you say you're going to, it's just going to ruin that relationship immediately. So make sure you have a buyer's list. I would recommend, obviously you only need one, but I would feel more comfortable recommending, at least 10, no more than 20, especially like if you're just like getting started with your cash buyers list. And we have tons of different ways of finding cash buyers within our programs. And if you need us to go over more of that, just let us know. We'll be more than happy. But I hope that answers your question, Cesar. So yeah, here's some screenshots for you of how to find direct contacts using some of our Asset Manager Millions. If you type in Asset Manager and Portfolio Manager, you're going to have close to 3 million contacts just by using those two terms. And for those of you that are members, you obviously know that there's other terms. You can go by several different terms: loss prevention, special assets, so many different other searches you could come up with. There's well over 3 million with other search results. Loan workout officer, a loan restructure. There's so many different departments that you can get in contact with and have a direct contact with. It's great. Having a direct contact, multiple direct contacts, is the way to go in this business. All right, moving on. Ted asked, for a 100 unit multifamily purchase, how much money do I risk losing if I do all the due diligence then decide not to close? Well, that's a good question. Typically on a multifamily of that size, you're probably going to spend anywhere from possibly all the way up to $5,000 for an appraisal. You'll also need to require to put down an earnest money deposit, um, and that just depends. That could be anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 as well. You'll need to put a proof of funds letter, a letter of intent, um, and then due diligence. The due diligence doesn't take that long. You typically would do a quick due diligence. May take 3 days. You want to go through all the financials. You want to check the current owner of records, business financials for the past 3 years. You want to check the gross profit, net profit numbers. You want to make sure that all of those numbers add up properly. And you don't want to see numbers that are pro forma. You want to see actuals. You want to make sure when you calculate everything that the cap rate is the cap rate that you're purchasing at, and you're not, getting screwed. So you want to make sure that you're doing things along that nature. So, I would first do the due diligence up front before you put an earnest money deposit down and pay for an appraisal. Because once you start paying for an appraisal and you put an earnest money deposit down, that means it's really serious, and you're probably not going to have a problem once you start putting earnest money deposit down and also paying for an appraisal. I doubt there's going to be a problem at that point in time, but it just all depends on how you structure it too. But that would be the maximum if you're doing just a straight out purchase. Bill asked, what would be one of the best ways to find private money? The best one, and guys, write this down. This is being recorded, but the one thing I would tell you, local relationships, okay? The places I would go, the places I have gone for private money is title companies. The best way to get in with the title companies, you let them know what your intentions are up front. You just say, hey, I'm really looking for an investor friendly, and let me go back here. You could find the investor friendly title companies from the investor friendly realtors. Okay, so you find the realtors, you find the title companies. You find the title companies, you find the private money. And once you get in with the title company and you find the private money people, the way to do that would be you would let the title companies obviously know that you're looking to close multiple transactions, and what you're looking to also do is do some buy and hold strategies, do some rehab strategies, and you would like to know if there's anybody that's been buying a lot of properties with cash, or they're lending out private money. You could do that, and if as long as you have a good relationship with the title company, somebody over at the title company, that's how I got connected with a couple hard money lenders and private money lenders very early on. Is I found a good title company, and they were able to share those resources. So I recommend finding a investor-friendly realtor, then ask for their recommendations on an investor-friendly title company, and then just build a relationship with the title company. And once you tell them your intentions of what you're looking to do, that may take a day or two to let them know what you're looking to do. And then what I would do is you could either talk to them over the phone or go visit them in person, or have a sit down for a Starbucks. But it all comes down to it being local. Local businesses are great, so I would definitely speak with somebody in those departments. So that's what I would recommend for finding private money. You could also go down to the county courthouse, look at the recorders, book for who's been lending cash. You could find that out, and then The thing with that is you'd have to send out a direct mail piece. Then you would have their office address or their home address, whatever they use for their mailing address, and you could send out a piece of mail to them. That would be a good way to do. And then if you are interested in having us talk further about like what type of direct mail pieces to send out, that would be something we could cover on another call. So once we end this webinar, you're going to see a survey come up. Once that happens, just if a lot of you comment and say, hey, yeah, I'd like you to cover more on private money, then just let me know and I'll do that on our next coaching call for sure. All right, question from Kenneth Y. If I have no money to buy a property over 5K of my own, what's the best way to flip a note before accepting the lender offer? That's pretty simple. I would have my cash buyers lined up first, Kenneth. That's crucial. Before you get started in real estate investing, especially if you're brand new and your strategy for starting off is a wholesaler, the first thing I would do is find out who the buyers are in your area or the markets that you're looking to invest in. Once you have that done, the hardest part of all is completely over with. Then you just find the deals that they're looking for, and you're good to go. So if you have no money, if you have 5K, you can maybe buy some war zone properties for that amount. But I'm a big believer in not using my own funds to put in on other deals. So that I would keep that 5K for yourself. Put that aside, and just start making sure you have the cash buyers lined up first, and then you wouldn't have a problem with buying an REO or a direct deal from a bank or flipping a note. You shouldn't have a problem as long as you're following the steps by finding the cash buyers. Question from Robert H. How would I make money as a third party to an A to B to C deal? Well, I'm actually glad this question came in because James, one of our government loophole magic students, actually just completed an A to B to C transaction, and we're going to be going over that next week as a case study, and I'll give you guys access to that video. But here's how it would look. You would, let's just say you receive approval on a HUD home for $30,000. The current market value is $60,000. You have a cash buyer that is ready, willing, and able to purchase at $37,000. You bring a transactional funder in if you don't have the $30,000. You receive non-refundable earnest money deposit from the cash buyer, and you now have funds for the HUD property. So what I mean by that is if HUD is requiring you to put down 500 or 1,000, you get a non-refundable from your cash buyer for $1,500 or $2,000, and then you take the $500 or $1,000 and put that towards the deposit that's required from HUD, and then you'd be good to go on that. And then what you do is you close on the property, you pay the transactional funder 2% or $2,000 depending on what you have worked out, and at the end of the day you net profit anywhere between $4,500 to $6,000 on this scenario. This if you do 2, 3, 4 of these a month, that's a good living to net profit $4,500 to $6,000 for 4 times a month. That's a really nice comfortable living. Now I'm gonna be getting a transactional funder to do a coaching call with us just so they can kind of go over what kind of deals they're looking for. But we do have somebody worked out at 1.75% as a transactional fee, and that's pretty much money for a day. And that's all James used for his deal that he closed last week. He just needed funds for a day and closed on it. Now, keep in mind, on HUD homes, there's no deed restrictions. REO deals, there are deed restrictions. So that's why we can do money for a day on HUD homes. There's no deed restrictions, so we could do that. Now I put on there the second bullet point from the bottom, 2% or 2,000, because depending on the amount, I believe for deals under $100,000, most transactional funders are going to want $2,000. So just thought I'd let you guys know that. But we're going to be getting a transactional funder to do a coaching call with us here very, very soon. And if you guys do need transactional funding, just let us know. We'll be more than happy to give you contact details for the people that we've recommended, people that we've used, that type of thing. Question from Gary F. Why are SEC rules so hard to advertise for private money? Well, Gary, the one thing I would try and find out from you is what are you trying to do right now to advertise for private money? Certain things, yes. I'm not an attorney, so I can't obviously tell you certain laws, but some of the things that worked out for us is just developing relationships with people that could connect the dots in a legal way. The other thing too is you could hold investor little seminars, and you could give examples of deals you're currently doing right now. The big thing is they just don't want you to come flat out saying, "Hey, I need $100,000." Typically, what we do is we'll go over case studies for about 60 to 70 minutes. We'll talk about the returns, and at the end, we'll just say, if this is something you're interested, please let us know, and we can talk about how we could start doing something like this together. You just have to word things properly, and things are going to become even easier the first of the year. According to our attorney that we're working with on starting our own fund, things are going to become a lot easier for advertising purposes, but right now they're not bad at all. We could put out a webinar. That's something I would recommend too. Put out a webinar, and you could go over case studies of deals you've done, and if they're wholesales or not. One of the things, like if you're brand new, one of the things you can do is go over the wholesale deals, and you could be like, "Hey, we made $10,000 on this deal, but if we would have had private money lined up, this is what the numbers would have been with the private money." You have to give examples of things like that, and you can't come out directly saying, we need your money. You can't do certain things like that. Again, I'm not an attorney, so make sure you talk to an attorney that's got a very broad perspective on the SEC rules. So let's see here. Is it possible to purchase commercial real estate when you have no money to invest and still have a positive cash flow? Absolutely. Here's the example I put together for Stephen. So Stephen, you'd find a seller who owns commercial property free and clear, and believe it or not, there is a decent amount of commercial properties out there that are free and clear or very low to being free and clear. So what you would do is you would structure seller financing with the owner of record. Now, why would they want to do this? It saves them on capital gains taxes. So typically, if you could get the seller to finance it for 2 years, I'm not an accountant or a CPA, but just from past dealings, we've saved people from having to pay capital gains taxes as long as they keep a seller finance note on the subject property for 2 years. And typically by that time, as long as you do a proper value play on the commercial property, you can refinance without a problem and get them completely wiped out. Then what I've done in the past is I'll find a private lender to come in, especially for me. I've had bad credit in the past, and I definitely couldn't get approved for a commercial loan. Even if it was at 60%, it would be kind of a challenge. So I'd find a private lender to come in, guarantee them first lien position, and a typical loan structure on this kind of deal, would be 60-40 or 70-30. You have to find out first of all, you have to find out what the seller is willing to do. Most of them are willing to do 30%, and private lenders, as long as the numbers make sense, they're fine with the 70%. So let's just say if I purchased a property at $100,000, the current owner of record would carry a second for around $30,000 or $40,000, and the private lender would finance the first at $60,000 or $70,000, again depending on the ratios. Now, in order for you to properly cash flow, you need to figure out the numbers with how you could structure the financing. So typically on the first, I would structure that like around a 5-6% interest rate. Seconds, I would try and be between 7 and 9%. And that would typically keep you at a good rate. Even if you were at 10 or 11% on a second, you'd still probably be good. You just have to make sure you check the actual statements, the financial statements of that property that you're wanting to buy, the commercial property. As long as it makes sense, you should be good to go. So let's see here. We've got Stefan P. asking, what am I really looking for when getting started? Well, the answer to that is you're looking for whatever the cash buyer is interested in. So if you have multiple cash buyers that are looking for 3-bedroom, 1.5 1.5 plus baths, that's what you would want to be going out and looking for. You'd want to look for exactly what they're telling you. Hey, this is what we'll buy from you. I would go out there and look for that. That's what I would do. So I hope that answers. So at this point, what I'm going to do is start taking questions from you guys. If you have any additional questions, let me see here. And if for some reason we don't get to all of your questions, you could always reach us at getglm@gmail.com, and make sure you register for our next live Q&A coaching calls. All the details for the next coaching calls are within the membership area with your link for registering. Our next coaching call, I'm trying to figure this out, and since you guys are on right now, the one thing I would ask you is, do you want to go over, how to get everything properly set up for 2014, like putting together, an action plan, so we can make sure that you're off the gates running, hitting it hard, making sure that, you have a successful 2014. Give me some ideas for what you guys want from the next coaching call. I think by me asking the questions up front, like when you're filling out the webinar registration form, asking you the questions up front, I think that really helps, because we've been receiving a lot more questions, and that seems to help out with these calls. Is we're able to really dive into some really good questions, give some examples, and really hit it hard for you guys. So with that being said, let me see if there's some questions that came in from you guys. All right, here, let's see. Okay, action plan sounds great. Okay, cool. We'll do that then. Justin asked, what are the best counties in California for this? I really don't know. I don't live in California, so you just have to do your due diligence out there. Suzanne, no, I don't think you're on the correct webinar. Let's see here. Tasha, Yeah, Tasha, if you've gone through our government loophole magic program, we tell you exactly what to look out for when trying to get the um, when you're trying to get certain things completed with what discount HUD will truly accept. So yeah, definitely. Let's see here. I was listening to someone about home path foreclosures. Um, there's Jim White asked about the deed restrictions. There's no deed restrictions on the HUD homes. There's deed restrictions, like I said, on REO homes. So there's a difference. So um, HUD homes are properties that have been foreclosed on that have had an FHA and VA loan. Now, REOs are going to be Fannie and Freddie backed, and those become REOs. And you're correct on the 20% profit. So, yeah, 100%, Jim. It's just, I think you may be confused on the home path deal. That those are REOs, not HUDs. So, yeah, I hope that helps. All right, Stuart, we've got Mick, Brett, Jerry, all asking Tasha, Bob, Randy about the action plan stuff. Okay, cool. I'll start preparing that, getting that ready for you guys, and we'll maybe try and kick one of these off again next week for you. But yeah, this was a really good success. Had a lot of people. Kevin, Kevin Hicks. Okay, cool. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Um, all right. Well, it looks like I answered a lot of questions because we don't have a bunch coming in right now. So, um, Dewana, you'll have questions next time. Very good. When you give me questions, that means you're taking action. And you may just have had similar questions to people on here that I've already answered, which is totally cool. I'm not trying to call anybody out. Um, but I will make sure that I post up this coaching session tomorrow, and you guys will have access to it immediately. Without, I want to make sure that you guys could go spend some time with family and whatnot. It's about 9:45 right now, so I'm going to go ahead and end things right now. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy schedules to attend, and we'll go over some more stuff here. Here, hold on. Let me answer this question. I want to make sure that you guys hear this. Stuart's asking, what is a daisy chain? Stuart, a daisy chain is where nobody knows who the seller is. So there could be 5, 6, 7, 8 people in the middle, and nobody really knows who the seller of that package is. And I would stay very clear away from a daisy chain. It's a waste of time. Residential backflips or reverse short sales. Julian, yes, I know about those. Do those methods work? Yes, they do. So if you have questions about those, you could obviously let me know. The email you could send those questions to would be getglm@gmail.com, and I'll make sure to get those addressed for you. But other than that, guys, thanks for your time. Have a great evening. I look forward to going over some great stuff with you again next week. You guys are always kick ass, and I appreciate you guys taking time to join me. Like I said, have a great night. Take care. Awesome time with you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.